Hello, and welcome back to sixth grade math support. My name is Dr. Griggs, and these will be the topics that we'll be going over for this school year. Right now, we're dealing with ratios and proportional relationships. So, inside of ratios and proportional relationships, we have 6 objectives. We're working on the 5th one right now. So, let's check it out and see what it says. For this objective, we have find a percent of a quantity as a rate per 100. For example, 30% of a quantity means 30 over 100 times the quantity. Solve problems involving finding the whole given a part and the percent. So now that we have the objective, let's look at an example problem. In this example problem, we have a percent of a quantity problem. At a school bake sale, 25 cookies were sold. This represents 20% of all the cookies that were baked. How many cookies were baked in total? So, let's set this up by looking at what information we have. Well, we know we had 25 cookies that were sold at the school bake sale, but they said that this represents 20% of all the cookies that were baked. So 25 cookies were sold, but that's only 20% of how many were actually baked. So how many cookies were baked in total? Well, as it said in the objective, percent is that number over 100, so 20% is the same as 20 over 100. So this is helpful because if we look at this equation, we have 25 cookies were sold. So 25 were sold. This represents, so this is telling us it is equal to 20%, which we already found was 20 over 100, of all the cookies that were baked. So 20% of, whenever we're finding the percent of a number, that is multiplication and all cookies. Now, we can kind of think about this as this is unknown. We don't know. That's what we're trying to figure out, how many cookies were baked in total. So because we don't know, we're going to leave this thing that we don't know on the one side isolated and then solve for the part that we do know. Now, since we know that this is being multiplied together, then we're trying to get rid of this. The way we get rid of this is doing the opposite. So that means we would need to divide. Now, when we're dividing fractions, we do keep, change, flip. That means we're going to keep the original number. We're going to change the division into multiplication, and we're going to flip. In this case, because we know we need to divide both sides by 100, 20 over 100, the flip is going to make this become 100 over 20. So that means on this side, we will multiply by 100 over 20. And this is an equation, so that means on this side, we also need to multiply by 100 over 20. So let's see what this gives us. Well, this is going to cancel because this is going to become 1, which is great because we want all cookies on the side by itself. Now, if we look at 100 times 25, because this is the same as 25 over 1, so that will be 2,500 over 20. Well, let's not leave it like that because since we want to know how many cookies were baked, we need to go ahead and do the division. So we can actually start off by dividing each number by 10. So if we divide this by 10, that will take that 0 away. If we divide this by 10, that will take that 0 away. So now we're really looking at 250 divided by 2. 2 goes into 2 one time. That's going to be 0. Bring the 5 down. 2 goes into 5 two times. That's 4. That's 1. Bring the 0 down, and 2 goes into 10 5 times. So that means total they baked 125 cookies. Now, keeping all of that in mind, I'm going to erase this real quick because we're going to check this. If 25 cookies is 20%, inside of 100, there are 5 20%. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So that means we could also add up 25 5 times, 25, 50, 75, 100, 125. So even there, we're able to check our math that we did with solving this equation. So we have 2 ways to make sure that we are getting the right answer. All right, everybody. So that is finding the percent of a quantity problem. I hope that was helpful to you. And if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to drop me a message or a comment, and I'll be glad to assist you in any way that I can. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Thank you so much for joining my tutoring session today. If you enjoy the way that I instruct, and you think that I would be a useful addition to your student or to yourself, feel free to scan this QR code. It is going to take you directly to my profile page where you can get set up on weekly classes with me. Looking forward to seeing you in the classroom. Bye.